KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and tomorrow, giving thanks and giving praises and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. As usual, we got a lot to do and a lot to talk about. So how do we do things on the first day of October? You see, I got my pink on. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I'm doing my pink. Rest in peace to Audre Lorde, my godmother. But also, it's a Wednesday. It's a wealth building Wednesday. The way we do things around here, hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast side of town. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And we start the hour with what we call a wealth building Wednesday with a spotlight on a socially innovative, Black-owned, BIPOC-owned, woman-owned, or local business, all the things we love to support around here. Then hour three, we do a deep dive with a hot topic or a person of interest. Today, Warren Point will be talking with Kenya Beckman, and so looking forward to that conversation. Right now, though, starting off our California hour, broadcasting live from Leimert Park, as we call it, Africatown, USA, with the Chief Sustainability Officer with LA Metro in Los Angeles. He's got a bachelor's degree in geology from the University of the Philippines, a master's in civil engineering from Loyola Marymount University, and a doctorate in environmental science and engineering from UCLA. Focuses on policy, climate change, energy efficiency, water conservation, revenue generation, infrastructure, funding, financing, training, and environmental compliance. That's a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Cris Liban, welcome.
Yeah. Thanks, Dominique. Thanks for having us here today,
Yeah.
and for the great introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. I mean, you, I'm pretty sure, are quite well aware, because Metro's been a partner with us,
Yes.
that sustainability and environmental justice is a big priority for us at KBLA Talk 1580. And I think a lot of times, even though we know somewhere in our minds that public transportation is a plus on the Save the Planet side of the ledger, I don't know that we think about Metro as a big player in the sustainability.
Yeah, and that's understandable. We have not really been top of mind when it comes to that topic, but transit in general, has been very progressive around the whole country, and we at Metro had been doing a lot, contributing to not only the greening of the region. We have our buses converting into electrification program the next decade or so, and then we're already doing and building a lot of infrastructure to not only make sure that the environment is safe, the clean air, California Clean Air Day today, and making sure that our equity-focused communities are actually served not only by our system, but by the infrastructure that we built.
I'm not always big, even though I started off saying it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always track this week, that day, that month, even though a lot of folks in radio do. I kind of just tend to ignore a lot of that stuff. But tell me about Clean Air Day. What does that mean? What do we celebrate? Do we hold our breaths all day if we live in Los Angeles? Like what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So for me, you mentioned part of my bio there earlier. I grew up in a developing nation. I grew up in Manila, a lot of dirty air in the country I grew up with. So California Clean Air Day really means personal to me in terms of how the environmental justice, how people of color like myself have really been clamoring, for these kinds of environmental benefits. California Clean Air Day in general allows us to not only be conscious of the fact that here in California, here in Los Angeles in particular, we are in a non-attainment zone. That's kind of jargon for we're breathing dirty air, and we're doing something about it. For the last few decades, and it's a call for action in a way, for us to not only be aware of our environment, but call for action for organizations like myself to do more about it. Call to action for individually for ourselves to do something on California Clean Air Day. Ride the bus, drive less, shop locally. Think about maybe planting a tree today. To reduce any pollution in our communities, and also think about those folks who have been not only victims of air pollution, but think about how we can contribute to reducing those kinds of situations in our communities.
Yeah, I think it's also a really good point that even though we complain about the smog and the
Hmm.
pollution here in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
from what I understand, it's much better than it was
Yep.
25 years ago.
Definitely.
And when you look at, if you lived in Beijing or Manila
Hmm.
or any number of other places,
Yep.
um, you would be we would be exposed to a lot more environmental hazards in
Yep.
the air, right?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And in here in California, we're very lucky that we have policies here in the state that actually not only reduce the toxics in the things that we use, but also in LA Metro specifically, going back to your main point earlier, we have been using renewable natural gas, gas from landfills, gas from wastewater treatment plants, gas from farms. We've been using natural gas from those sources to power our buses. We've been doing that for over almost a decade now. We're electrifying our fleet. We're going to be fully electrified by 2035.
So
Um,
for me, if
mhm.
I'm taking the bus, I probably won't notice that, or will I? It's just going to be a slow rollout where more and more buses are electric
Uh, Definitely. It's we have about 95 buses right now that are fully
that are
electric.
already electric, right?
Exactly. Our G line, formerly Orange Line, it's been electric since 2021. Our J line will be
Why?
electric this
Okay,
year.
this isn't your
Okay,
sustainability, but
sure.
why are we going from letters to colors to, I mean, colors to letters? I mean,
I'll let our communications folks talk about that. That's why
okay, yeah,
we
right,
talk
right,
about letters.
right.
I say G line that used to be Orange
We
Line.
just say G for green. We'll call it green.
Okay.
We'll call it green, Chris. Please.
Okay, yeah. So but finishing off the thought, we essentially are doing our part, like what I said earlier, making sure that not only our buses, our trains are clean, electrified, but we're not waiting until 2035. We're doing something right now, and I encourage your listeners to actually work together and partner up with us on many of these initiatives.
So one of the reasons that you're here on Clean Air Days because you want us to get ourselves on the bus
Yeah.
or train or whatever in order to just, even if it's just for today,
Mhm.
make a little less pollution in the air ourselves personally.
Definitely. But not only that, but not only today, but experience our bus system. Experience our train system. We have the Metro Transit Center. I've had a lot of folks create some positive feedback on, taking the bus or the train now to the Metro Transit Center, which is the main area for LAX.
Right.
We just opened 3 new stations. Our A line, formerly the Blue Line, is now going all the way up to Pomona, and there's a lot of experiences that people can actually, um, you know, uh, discover. In many of these stations. A lot of folks now have discovered more of Los Angeles, have discovered more of their neighborhoods because of the connectivity that Metro provides. And myself in particular, I ride the bus and train pretty much every day, and so I meet a lot of great people. I talk to them. It's a way for me to better understand, what I could do better, as a sustainability, as a green, as an energy person, to better serve my community. It's a way for me to connect, versus driving alone, and just having the world pass by, and not necessarily seeing and listening to what our neighbors and neighborhoods are saying
Yeah.
about our system. So
I'm loving the stations on Crenshaw.
Mhm.
They just I don't know. It's just, this is gonna. Don't get mad at me. Okay, do you guys get mad at me every day? But I feel like it makes it seem more like we're a real city or something,
Hmm.
having having
Yeah.
cool, great looking train stops
Yep.
on our main thoroughfare. I hated the whole construction thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
I'm a Crenshaw, West Side, Crenshaw resident, but I do really love them. And when we come forward, I want to talk about that because I think there's some things that you probably have tucked into some of these designs
Yep.
and rollouts that we don't see that are on the sustainability on the green side.
Yep.
And I think it's fun to know about those things because while we're busy dooming and glooming and looking at everything that's going wrong in the world and
Yep.
worrying about the climate emergency, it's nice to take note of those things that are working, those things that are being done, and the ways in which we are being helped that we might not even realize. Well, look at that. You're always welcome in around here. 800-920-1580 is the number, 800-920-1580, or you can join the conversation in the YouTube comments. We're at KBLA 1580. Of course, it's youtube.com. You knew that. Good morning to our KBLA YouTube delegation. We'll continue the conversation when we come forward, only right here.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Hello, KBLA delegation. Tavis Smiley here. On Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech becomes the epicenter of ideas that matter. The Left Coast Forum is bringing together voices that challenge, inspire, and illuminate with keynote presentations from people like noted economist Richard Wolff, the man who breaks down capitalism in ways that make sense to working folk like you and me, and Dr. Cornel West will be there, the brilliant philosopher and activist who never stops fighting for justice and speaking truth to power and to the powerless for that matter. So this isn't just another conference. This is where ideas get tested, where the conversations that shape our future begin. Multiple plenary sessions, dynamic speakers, real talk about the issues that impact our communities, and then some good food and a live band. Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech, Left Coast Forum. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can also peep the plenary topics. The future belongs to those who show up and engage. So don't just think about change, be part of the conversation that creates it. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters, your presence matters. We'll see you there.
As we get older, we may feel strong and healthy, but no matter how healthy you feel, your immune system weakens with age. That's where vaccines come in. Vaccines help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off certain respiratory illnesses. And that's why the CDC recommends eligible adults 50 or older or those with certain health conditions get vaccinated. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MAJOR25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MAJOR25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MAJOR25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we're talking with Cris Liban from LA Metro. He's a sustainability expert, and one of our big portfolios here at KBLA is climate justice.
Exactly.
And I always say this, Cris, that if we don't have a planet, if we don't have a livable environment, every other issue is moot.
Yep.
Because if there's no humans, they don't matter.
Yep.
Right. So I'm always happy to see the little things and the big things that are being done to make a difference.
Yep.
And so I'm sure you can share with me some stuff I may not notice in the new stations or the new trains or the way you're running those trains and buses that is designed to help.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the question. So I'll start this way. All of our stations are, we have customer experience and customer service in mind all the time. Make those as friendly as possible. We have artwork in there. We have all of our systems essentially friendly. I would be remiss to not mention about our ambassadors. Hopefully,
I love the ambassadors. That's one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it seems simple, but just going into a station or around a station and you're not all alone. There's someone that can help you, someone that you could ask a question to.
Yep.
It feels safer. It feels like community.
Yep, definitely. And in having them there, they make sure that everybody's helped. That you get your ticket, you get your fare, you get to know where to go. Going back to the topic, essentially we've made a lot of improvements, in and around the stations. We've made it more environmentally friendly. We have what we call as water collection systems. We've softened the infrastructure around the stations by putting in landscaping, California natives landscaping. And you see this, for example, here in Leimert Park, you see that as the train emerges, there's like landscaping and
it's
part
nice.
of that station. And then, we also work together, like what I said earlier, with our communities. And that's very important to us, not only in allowing us to better understand what the community needs, but for what the community actually could request and ask us to improve on, and that's very important to me as well, because we don't have the answers. All the answers, should say, in many of these issues, but by riding the bus every day, by riding the train, by communicating with folks on the ground, I understand and learn what many of the communities and our and the people of Los Angeles actually needs out of Metro.
And you have a youth council?
Yeah, LA Metro has a youth council that was started off by our current CEO, Stephanie Wiggins. I'm very proud of her and for the youth council. I've spoken in their youth summit. I encourage any of your listeners who have high school age children, attend our youth summit every year. Please consider working together with Metro as an intern to better understand what we do actually in the agency. For those who want to be youth leaders, our youth council is there for them to apply, and for them to actually get more involved with LA Metro. We have started out a sustainability subcommittee, within the youth council, and I've been working together with that subcommittee on programming, some of the green initiatives in our agency.
Yeah, well, because I know a lot of the young folks. I am the mother of a teenager that they have really strong feelings about the climate emergency and what is happening with the greening or not greening of our nation. So I love that they have some input here.
Yeah.
And of course it's okay. So we can't segment off air. You can't build a wall and keep other people's nasty air out of the Golden State.
Yep.
And of course, California has stricter policies and rules than other states. And it feels like we're going in some ways in the opposite direction, towards less regulation and less clean air. So do you just do it anyway and hope for the best? Or, how do you factor in this idea that your neighboring state might decide to spew out all kinds of toxins? They have different standards for their fuel and everything else.
Yeah, it's a very complex issue. I'll just put it that way. We can solve it in 30 minutes here,
Right.
but I'll answer that question this way. All of this mixing, all of the air quality, around the country, pretty much is a concern, right? For better or worse, here in Los Angeles, we have more people.
Yeah.
We're driving a lot.
Car culture, yeah.
Our geography here in Los Angeles actually contributes to a significant amount of the issue, and we have mountains, on the east, we have the ocean in the west, and a lot of times when the air comes in, all of these pollution that's spewed every morning, for example.
Not to mention wildfires.
Exactly, it gets
Yikes!
trapped.
You're breathing in a stove and a refrigerator that burnt up. Yeah.
Yeah, and so in a way, given that, there is hope, and then the hope really is lying in our hearts, in our specific and individual actions. No small action is too small. I always say that to folks, and going back to your question, even though maybe some of the other states, might have lax air quality regulations, or as we're hearing about the political rhetoric right now that regulations are essentially getting curtailed. We're pushing, and we're doubling down in LA Metro on our activities. We're doubling down on our efforts to clean the air here in Los Angeles, create an environment for all of our constituents to actually make sure that the injustices of the past relative to clean air are actually resolved.
Right. So at least when you mentioned equity, so that's at least it's not worse in some areas. Based on socioeconomic or racial factors.
Definitely.
Yes, but that, and I'm glad to hear that, because we know that it works. We've seen California go from among the worst, LA go from among the worst air quality anywhere to decent air quality, and so we know it works.
Exactly. Yeah. And, in fact, it's interesting you say that, because for the longest time, we've actually been number one in terms of worst air quality, but now we're not. Another city has claimed that. I believe it's either Washington D.C. or somewhere in the nation has claimed that nasty title, if you may.
Okay. The nastiest air title. Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll be inspired to do something about it as well. Metro is kind of on a building tear, right? We've got the Olympics around the corner, and the World Cup, and the Super Bowl, and I'm probably missing a couple things. What does that mean for? And there was just an article, I think it was yesterday or the day before, talking about the airport.
Yep.
Which is not your bailiwick.
We partner up with them.
Right. I mean, but I'm not going to yell at you about the LA exit, which is terrible. What does that mean for us, the riders, the consumers, this building spree that we're on right now?
Yeah. So thank you for the to all of the constituents of Los Angeles County. A lot of these propositions, Proposition M, and the funding mechanisms have been very good, for the region, and we've been building a lot of new lines. I mentioned earlier, we've opened up the A line, the 3 new stations recently. It's now the longest light rail transit system in the world. So that's a world record.
Go us.
And from Long Beach to Pomona, new areas to explore. Metro Transit Connector.
We love the Nipsey Hussle tribute, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for mentioning that as well. And then the Purple Line, Purple Line extension is going to open pretty soon. We don't have a date yet, and that's going to extend, now into some of the busiest sections of Los Angeles, and for us to carry those folks, from where they need to go, from downtown LA to the west side, and it really connects us. And what's most important to this is that through the sporting events, it's our North Star. It's our ability to actually have some deadlines for for us, internal deadlines as well as regional deadlines. We're meeting those deadlines. We're confident we'll be able to deliver the transit system that will connect, Los Angeles where it needs to be, and for us to explore more of the areas that we don't necessarily explore because of non-connectivity. So.
Well, Cris, Liban, thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, and California Clean Air Day, and please
free rides today.
Free
right?
rides
free
today.
Rides
Just want to
day.
mention that, and for everybody to try Metro, and for us to be able to serve you more.
Perfect day. Get you a free ride. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dominique.
News, traffic, and sports, and more on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Texans will vote in November on a constitutional amendment to let judges deny bail to more violent offenders. Senator Joan Huffman says it's about public safety.
It has become starkly clear that our local officials making bail determinations need this tool to protect the people of Texas.
It's one of 17 proposed amendments on the ballot. At the UN, African leaders spoke on global issues but stayed silent on deadly conflicts in Sudan and Congo. Analysts say the omission shows weak institutions and growing foreign influence in peace talks, despite tens of thousands dead and millions displaced. And streamer Kai Cenat says he turned down a $60 million gambling deal during his first Mafia-thon in 2023. He told Kirk Franklin, who was a recent guest, that not all money is good money, choosing long-term goals and financial freedom over a quick payday. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Your unstoppable future begins here. Mount St. Mary's University LA has a 100-year track record of elevating lives and careers. 2 campuses, undergraduate and graduate degrees. Discover how unstoppable you can be at msmu.edu.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers had 15 hits, including 5 home runs last night to dominate Cincinnati 10-5 in Game 1 of their first-round playoff series. Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez each homered twice. It was not a good homecoming for Cincinnati starter Hunter Green. The LA native was tagged for 3 homers in the first 3 innings. Game 2 in the best-of-5 series is tonight at 6 at Dodger Stadium. The Angels informed manager Ron Washington that his contract will not be renewed for next season. The 74-year-old Washington missed more than half of this season after undergoing quadruple bypass heart surgery in June. The Angels finished last in the American League West with a 72-90 record under interim manager Ray Montgomery. Washington's dismissal leaves Dodgers manager Dave Roberts as the only African-American manager in Major League Baseball. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, this is Dominique DiPrima. Is your loved one at the hospital or in a nursing home? Have they developed bed sores, fallen, or worse? These are things your family members should be protected from. Bed sores, falls, and dehydration are almost always the result of negligent care. If this has happened to your loved one, call Zoran at Basic Law Group at 800-215-1234 or visit basiclawgroup.com. The consultation is free, and if they don't win, you don't pay. That's 800-215-1234 to reach my friend Zoran at the Basic Law Group.
Hello, KBLA listeners. This is Dr. Paul Wallace. I want to discuss a type of eczema called atopic dermatitis, which is often misdiagnosed in Black children and adults. Atopic dermatitis is an autoimmune disorder that can be accompanied by food allergies, hay fever, and asthma. This rash targets the inner arms, behind the knees, and face, but can go all over the body. It causes excessive dryness and 24/7 itching. It's the scratching and steroid use that leads to permanent scarring. I'm enrolling patients in a new clinical research study focused on better treatment options for atopic dermatitis. Of course, your medication and travel reimbursements are provided. To see if you qualify, visit dermstudies.com or call us at 323-296-0048. That's 323-296-0048. There's nothing worse than itching. Let's take the next step in controlling this problem.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Top 1580.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-259-9922. 800-259-9922. That's 800-259-9922.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, Miles, where are we going? We got free metro rides all day today. Where are we going? You want to go downtown? You want to hit the, you know which line I actually do take sometimes a lot is the one out to Santa Monica.
Okay.
It's Expo line. You can hit it. You can hit it at Crenshaw. You can get it at La Brea. La Brea has good parking there, and it'll take you right out to the beach. Right? No parking, no hassle, no traffic. I like that because a couple times, if you ever go out to the west side, which I'm gonna recommend that we all do because we live here and we don't go to the beach, which is crazy because people travel from all over the world to go to our beaches, and we just stay on the freeways. But when you try to coming back to the real LA from Santa Monica around rush hour is terrible. It will take you more than an hour. It would take you a couple hours sometimes. But if you get on Metro, even during rush hour, it's like 15 minutes.
So I'll be honest, Dominique, I have not hopped on the Metro yet. All the time I've been in LA, I've not hopped on the Metro. I've not hopped on the bus. I've taken the Metro Link out to like Rialto and San Bernardino and stuff like that, but I have not ridden the public trans yet, Dominique.
Okay, well, you got a car. I understand that. I got my new ride, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite and act like I try to ride everywhere on the bus. But it's clean air day today, so you can go for free.
Right.
And I will say this as a almost Angelino, because I've been here a long time and I've been adopted by Los Angeles. There are some areas where if you get on the train, it's going to save you an hour, 2 hours of your day. And one of those is going and coming from the west side. And on the Expo line, it's easy because it's just one train and take you all the way out there. And one train bring you all the way back. It will take you right walking distance to the beach.
Right.
And, and if you're going to be drinking or smoking or, doing any of the things folks like to do at the beach, it's not a bad idea.
Right. And you kind of hit the nail on the head when you said it's going to skip right past all the traffic too. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, really, there have been a couple times when I was thinking about leaving my car out there and getting on the train.
Right.
Because I didn't want to sit there for 2 hours trying to get back over to Crenshaw. Which is, during a time when there's no traffic, that's a 15-minute ride. Anyway, happy Clean Air Day. You know how I am. I don't usually celebrate those type of this day and that day, but if it comes with free bus and train rides, then I'm here for it. Actually, I would like to see California. I know we're in a budget crunch, blah, 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 but I would love for us to get to the point where we can have the trains and buses be free all the time, or, underwritten by the public or foundations or whatever, because that would be one way to get way more people to ride. And for the students, it's a huge, huge help. The student programs that they have for young people to ride free or low cost. I think that's goals. But I guess today I am celebrating days because I got my pink on for breast cancer awareness. And I mentioned the poet Audre Lorde, who was actually, as strange as it sounds, was one of my mom's high school BFFs, because they both went to the Hunter gifted high school in New York. Is a public gifted high school. My mom went there and Audre Lorde went there, and they happened to meet. They're both poets, but they happened to meet in high school and became lifelong friends. So she was my godmother, and she did have breast cancer. That was my first awareness of that terrible, terrible disease and the disproportionate impact that it has on Black women. And the reason that I say that is because all women can get breast cancer, but for some reason, Black women tend to get the more aggressive forms, and we are more likely to die from it. So since this is the first day of October, and we are officially in Libra season, I'm wearing my pink as a reminder to you and a reminder to me to squeeze your boobs today. Check up on the girls. Make sure there's no lumps. Make sure there's no foreign objects. The mammograms are terrible. It's like putting your boobs in a waffle iron, but you got to do it because prevention is so important, particularly for Black women, because we do get the aggressive forms of breast cancer. And so it's more important for us than for anybody. Squeeze the girls. Make sure, and make sure you're familiar with your own body, your own breast, so you can know when something changes, so that you're able to see, know when something changes. Because when you catch it early, you can live, you can survive and thrive. And that's so important. Now, Kwamel says he don't have time to get on the bus or train today. Okay, we know you got a job, Kwamel, and that's a blessing. But I'm just saying, like, another great way to use Metro, even if you have a car, is if you're going to see anything at the Crypto Staples Center, because again, traffic, they charge you like $1 million for parking down there. Get on the Metro, you don't have to pay that. You just saved yourself a band, because I mean, they're crazy with that parking. It's like $400 today only. And so if you can do it, do it. I see a link. Okay, they're saying they can't see the live on YouTube. I'm not sure what's happening with that. I only see the picture too. I'm not really sure what's happening with that. Probably some technical difficulties. Miles will fix it. He always does. But the link all going to add up. It's all going to make a difference. I remember being so sad to be way out in the forest. Oh, he did it. In thanks, Molly Bell. Way out in the forest in Senegal, and seeing plastic waste and garbage from water bottles and stuff everywhere. And we see it here too. And so while I do believe it is the big corporations that have the lion's share of the responsibility for the climate emergency, governments, big governments, if only we had one. Ours is currently shut down. Big governments and big corporations, still, as individuals, as families, and particularly as voters, we can do something. It's not too late. We are not doomed. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. It certainly can be, but it doesn't have to be. Yes, the glaciers are melting. But if you look at the air quality in LA, if you look at the way that we've been able to bring back certain species, the way that we've been able to bring back certain environments, we can do it. We have the technology. We just need the political will. And that's where you and I come in. Kwamel says I edit his full statements. I'm not editing. I'm just multitasking, Kwamel. You want to say your full statement? Call in 800-920-1580. We know you're not raggedy. EC Courtney says government shutdown, acting up, Miles low on the job. Oh, you think YouTube is being sabotaged? We can blame it all on the government shutdown today. But hey, if you have time, get on the bus. As Spike Lee once said, get on the bus, have some fun riding around. Kwamel says, I miss adventuring, period, full stop. I meant that it sucks that I can't take time to look for LA. You sound like my dad. He always said, there is no LA. I've been there. I've been to the West Coast several times and I don't find it. It's because he wanted a big city center. But look, you're welcome to call me, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We got a lot to talk about.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Hi, this is Dominique DiPrima. Is your loved one at the hospital or in a nursing home? Have they developed bed sores, fallen, or worse? These are things your family members should be protected from. Bed sores, falls, and dehydration are almost always the result of negligent care. If this has happened to your loved one, call Zoran at Basic Law Group at 800-215-1234 or visit basiclawgroup.com. The consultation is free, and if they don't win, you don't pay. That's 800-215-1234 to reach my friend Zoran at the Basic Law Group.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse,
partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on autopsy, then click on request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD. But did you know that Black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? You may be able to reduce your risk by managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, being physically active, eating healthy, and exercising your mind. To learn more about AD, the importance of early diagnosis and intervention, and a potential treatment option, visit treatalzearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Wow. So I'm sure you guys have heard of this controversy around the LA Police Commission, the former president, he's now vice president, Errol Southers, because Black Lives Matter LA has been on a campaign to get rid of Southers. And also because in an interview in 2023, when he was first appointed by Mayor Bass, I asked her about him because I had misgivings. The man is supposed to be a so-called counterterrorism specialist, and has, had a lot of spy training. He has now been in that position since 2023. He was appointed on an interim basis to fill in another commissioner, to complete another commissioner's term. And I had concerns because I don't like the way that the LAPD deals with protesters and activists and demonstrators and community-based organizations that are social justice oriented. They tend to have a very aggressive, anti-protester attitude. We've paid out as a city hundreds of millions of dollars for things they've done at protests, and for the targeting of activists. And this guy seemed to be someone that would fit that profile. Then more recently, he has been criticized because the number of police shootings has gone up while he was president of the commission. And then it was revealed that he studied in Israel, counterterrorism. In other words, he studied with the Israeli military on counterterrorism. All of those things are a bit scary, or a lot. And so the reason I said wow is because Black Lives Matter LA has been campaigning to have the city council not approve him for reappointment. Well, apparently they never voted on it, and now the time window has passed, and so he gets to stay on the commission for another 5 years without a vote. The LA Times is quoting Zev Yaroslavsky saying that's unheard of for he used to be a county supervisor. You guys may remember Supervisor Yaroslavsky. They're saying, that to not even hold a vote on something that important is unheard of. And now for him he gets to stay on the commission by default is crazy work. And not only that, the Times is implying that it's rumored that he may not have been put up for a vote because they were concerned that he did not have the votes to stay in the position. So, and this is, the police commission, along with the LA City Council and the mayor, who appoints the police chief and appoints the commission, are supposed to be the oversight for the LAPD. So if your job is to oversee what is most of the time the deadliest police force in the country for civilians, you would think you would be really watching those votes and appointments. And one of the reasons I'm bringing this up is because I feel like it's now incumbent upon us, the voters, the consumers, the people. Now we're going to have to really keep an eye on what is happening at the commission and what is happening in particular with that seat. I guess the spokesperson for the mayor's office, Zach Seidel, says he has deep knowledge of police operations, a commitment to the continued development of policies, blah, blah, blah. So he's not the commission president anymore. Now we have Teresa Sanchez Gordon, who's an attorney. He was president for a year. Whatever, the mayor's office is saying, whatever the city council is saying, and wherever you fall on the question of this commission appointment, it is clearly problematic that they didn't even vote on it. Right? That's a problem. And it's a failure on the part of the council. It's a failure on the part of the mayor. It's a failure on the part of the commission itself. So now we, the people, are put in a position of having to make sure that we make up for that failure by paying extra attention. Okay, we'll talk more about this next hour. We will. We've got to talk about the government shutdown. Of course, we're going to have our Wealth Building Wednesday, and we'll meet an incredible business owner and continue to recycle Black dollars, women's dollars, progressive dollars, local dollars. I know. I gotta get off the Amazon crack pipe and start buying more stuff locally, because that's how you recycle dollars. But we'll talk more about this too. I said yesterday that YouTube has agreed to pay $24.5 million to settle that lawsuit from Trump. $22 million of that goes directly to the prez for the so-called presidential library. The library with no books. The library with nothing but Trump Bibles, allegedly. But that's just one of the payouts that he's getting. Apparently Meta, which is Facebook, and Twitter are also paying out millions, tens of millions. Paramount Global, $16 million over 60 Minutes. So between these four payouts, the grifter in chief is getting 90 million big ones, 90 million smackaroos. I don't forget Disney. I forgot that. ABC News paid $16 million. So that's what I was talking about yesterday in my mob voice. That's a big shakedown, right? Al Capone could never. Name a time when Al Capone or Gotti or any of the crime families got $90 million in one shakedown. I can't. You can't. I'll wait. Dang. This is mafia on steroids, right? It's the it's the White House mafia. Wow. And here's the thing. It ain't over, right? He's already suing the New York Times, and I'm sure there's others that I'm not tracking. This presidential library gonna be real fancy. $90 million worth of Trump Bibles. And oh no, they'll also probably be the art of the deal. What am I thinking? You could read the Bible or the art of the deal. And Melania's book. And that's it. And that's the whole catalog. How is this legal? I know it's because it goes to the presidential library and blah, blah, blah. But really, how is it legal? It's clearly unseemly. How is it legal? We've got news, traffic, and sports. Then we've got our Wealth Building Wednesday, and then the phone lines will be wide open. Let's talk about our government shutdown and more. That's what we're here for. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Texans will vote in November on a constitutional amendment to let judges deny